I'm Tommy, it's Real Rock 1039 The Bear, and I know it's my job to interview bands, but I'm actually hanging out with a band that I really love, and it's AlterBridge, and they got a great album, Fortress. Mark, Scott, and Brian. Gentlemen, great job on the new record. I'll start with you, Mark.
Thank you, sir. We're excited with the response so far.
You know, I was kind of bummed you didn't have your Blacktooth Barbecue shirt on today.
You know, it's just dirty. I've worn it already on this tour.
I saw it on the album. I saw it on the boat cruise and everything else. And you, my friend, how you been?
Good, good. Same old, man. Just out here grinding.
Boy, man, a few words today. All right, Mr. Bassman Brian, how you been, my friend?
I'm good. I'm great. Thank you very much. Glad to be here. Ready to rock. Staying warm. Found a lime.
You guys are one of the hardest working bands I've seen. I mean, you guys, you know, you've got AlterBridge, you've got all these side projects in and out. This has got to be like chaos trying to keep all this together. Anybody want to start on how do you manage all this?
We just, you know, just in general, we plan way ahead of it with everything, with all the different bands we have within our ranks. And each day is scheduled by Miss Cheryl here, who makes everything seamless. So we have our... as long as we have our, you know, our beer, our water, our hand soap, and our peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, we're good.
And vodka.
Now, I know that, you know, you guys have worked with Michael Elvis Basquiat. He's been producing the records. He's going to be becoming like the 5th member of AlterBridge. Is that fair?
It is kind of fair to say. I mean, this is the 3rd record that we've done with him, and Miles had actually worked with him before on the Mayfield 4, I guess the 2nd Skin record. And he's moved from Virginia where he lived. He now lives in Orlando, so although I think we see less of him now because he's constantly working. He's got a ton of bands that are really interested in working with him, and he's been great. It's, I think, from the Blackbird record, when we first went into pre-production that first day, and just seeing the way he interacted with us, the way we interacted with him, it just felt very comfortable. It was a comfortable setting, and you know, I think we really take a lot of his input. He takes a lot of our input as well, and it's a great working relationship.
Now, Fortress seems to be, you know, real. I mean, you always got heavy stuff on the records and stuff, but it just seems like this one is really coming at you. Is it just how the songs came out this time, or is you guys maybe just looking to get a little more drive in something that was already being driven pretty well?
When me and Miles first sat down with our laptops, started throwing ideas back and forth. Of course, I like metal, so I'm always going to throw out my heaviest stuff first, and then he volleys back with a heavy ass riff of his own. I'm like, all right, cool, we're on the same page. And then it just kept on going that way, where I think we were about 8 songs deep of all heavy, fast songs by the time we said, you know, we got to make this album dynamic, because if an album's heavy from start to finish, it loses a little bit of its heaviness if you don't have any dynamics in there. So we at that time we put songs like Lover and All Ends Well and whatnot on the record to kind of smooth, you know, to make it give some dynamics.
Well, you know, one thing I really love about the records, and even Elvis working with you guys, is the tones. I mean, the guitar tones. You and Miles do a great matchup, you know, with the guitar work and stuff like that. But what I'm really also impressed with is the drums and bass. And you being an engineer too, man, you've got, yeah, you do some engineering and stuff like that. Yeah, didn't you do some producing and stuff and everything down in Florida?
Briefly, I had a little studio at my house. I had a band called Head Heavy between when I was out of Creed and between AlterBridge. So yeah, I did produce a record back there, but it was more, I was more performing on it, and kind of, you know, I just built that studio and I had an engineer come in, but we kind of worked together with it. But as far as the ins and outs and really
doing a crossfade or something like that.
But I mean, but you know, the bass guitar just always sounds so good, and it really, you know, I've noticed how your bass blends with the guitars and just that wall. But I can still hear it distinctly, even with the kick drum and stuff like that. It's just a great sound.
Yeah, I think Elvis. This was the first record that he mixed for us. The other 2 were mixed by a guy named Brian Sperber, who we love dearly, who did an awesome job. But having, for time reasons, financial reasons, whatever, we kind of did a big package deal with Elvis. And Elvis is a phenomenal mixer. You know, produced and mixed Mark's record, mixed the projected record that I did with John and Vinny from Seven Dust, and he just gets great tones, and everything's really in the mix. Nothing's buried at all. It's an aggressive mix, but still pleasing at the same time. And I think that's been the biggest difference in the rhythm section that I've heard from between Blackbird and AB3 to this record is Elvis's sort of touch on the rhythm section.
You know, I've heard like even producers before, you know, they'll do a record and they get these tones and the band hears these drum sounds and then it goes off to mixing and mastering and somebody else puts their thing on. Have you guys had that happen before without naming any names? Or is that why Elvis mixed this one?
Everybody has their little tricks of the trade. And you know, all the guys that we worked with, from Ben Gross on the One Day Remains record, who I was a huge fan of. We all were huge fans of. He's got his secrets of the way he does it. Brian's got his secrets of the way he does it. Elvis has his secrets, and none of them are exactly the same, but they all have positive results.
All right, Mark, Scott, and Brian from AlterBridge, thank you guys so much. Fortress is the album. Get it. Go see these guys. And forgive me on this analogy, but they are today's Journey with big old balls. All right. These guys can really play and really sing, and I just, you know, love it, guys. So keep up the great work.